I better get some more done this weekend. I'm not playing a hell of a lot for various reasons. One of which is today, another a guy I gamed with a couple of times who has also been through similar issues, not but losing a loved one, a life partner, or whatever, at about this age. Is gonna come hang out. We're gonna have some beers. Probably not play anything, but anyway, moving to this. So I had to clean, my toilet and stuff like that. We've got this military guy, and I just don't feel like I have that much cash. It's a shame because this is a good military leader, but how many times am I going to be able to bash my way through this? I mean, it's going to cost me like $5 to make the attack. So I'm going to just pass on that option. I get a tax collection from Bactria, which is a good economic location. From Gadrosia, which at least I get a couple bucks from. And we're going to be raising troops. And a diplomat. Okay, let me think. I've only got one more draw possible, so I don't know. The military situation looks better because I got these additional builds than it did before. Had I not continued drawing for another action, I might have gone, it might have been a reasonable thing to stop and go for that. But in order to preserve my influence, I'm going to do the diplomacy instead. Because I got my army right here. I don't think it matters that he's next to it. If he does, he moves away, Yay. There is chances in the Fate deck, but I don't have a good enough grasp of them to know where it's safest to put my Emperor. And I know I don't want him affecting stuff, and I don't want to have to look up whether I'm affecting that diplomacy. I don't think I am. I think it's only if the troops are there. So I named the target area. I pay 3 talents. There goes. Shit. Some of... yeah, I had enough to pay off another loan. I don't really want to. And I draw a result. My diplomat's only level 1. I'm looking for a high number here. But I have a +1 for a large number of troops. So 6, 7, 8. That doesn't do it. I end up with a failure. It's going to cost me popularity, and my diplomat goes away, and stuff like that. We may have lost our last chance at a good military emperor. I don't know what's coming, right? Popularity is more than 12. Uh-oh. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks good. 9, 10, 11. One goes back at random. I'll pretend I don't know what it is because I won't remember. That one. And so this doesn't happen. These scoop up. And we get an awesome economist. That's cool because this place is in unrest, and that would have gone into rebellion if the emperor died. So yeah, we're going to go with that. Success, a good success, and on top of that, drew a possible civil war, but no provinces were up. Got rid of my card and draw a new one. An artist, screw that, man. A better artist, okay. I guess we have to. Yes, we have a good arts emperor, so that's cool. And fake card was a famine, effects revealed cards only, and none. So we draw again. An aqueduct. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. At this moment, there's only one province I can build a thing in. But I could build... I'm going to interpret the rules here because I feel like these rules about building are a little too... mainly because I can't extend my damn roads or aqueducts. A little too restrictive. And I feel this is open to interpretation. This is the only province I can build anything in right now, because this have the road. This have things. This has a road. This has nothing. I think it makes sense that I can build something here and one of these other provinces because I'm not violating the balance. So I'm going to do that. And again, a success. I'm a little worried that I screwed something up. I had a diplomatic failure, and there should have been a rebellion check on that. It's the origin or the mover, so that would be the capital. That would have been 8. Let me draw a card. Or whatever. So 8 and 6 is 14. No, that's, see, this doesn't make sense. The way this rule works just doesn't make sense. So the economic value is subtracted from 10. My current economic value is 2, so that gets me to 8. That means the higher the economy, I don't know, something. Add 1 for each fort, add a result. Well, I think it's just draw a result. Does that make sense? I think it does. And I think that I caused a rebellion that way. And now we look up rebellion. And this should have happened before. I don't think it would have helped. It would have changed anything. I don't know. Yeah, it would have, because I probably got income from that. Or this connects my provinces, and that causes an issue. I don't know. I wish I hadn't realized it. Because now I have to do this. Replace your ownership with an unrest cube. Place your own cube below it. The corresponding card is in your province. Put it in your supply. I was looking back to make sure I had the rules right. Now I gotta find, there it is, okay. Any forces you had in such a province retreat to your adjacent province of your choice. Except for 7 slow units. I got no slow units, so we'll just withdraw back here. So it's got no forces. I can reconquest it by just doing a military operation. And that is the only way that I can do it, and I didn't have that option beyond that. Did I lose some money? I don't know, maybe. Like I said, there's a connectivity rule on something. I don't remember where it is. I don't remember. If it's on taxation. Well, it's just spend time paging through the rules. Yeah, if the areas cannot trace a path of provinces back to the capital. Well, there is no capital now. Great. Screw it. But yeah, I mean, I got to deal with this because there is no capital. But it's enough that I jumped in to deal with that. I would be going into debt and everything. So we flip. And we get a military, which is, you know, we'd really love to do this or something and start conquering it. This is diplomatic. But, and yeah, it's important. If this is over here, it might be on the military side, so it's got to be over here, but you move things so you can read the boxes. Again, it's the mixed use of cubes that don't tell you what they're doing, as opposed to the counters. Now, granted, the counter mix in Empires of the Middle Ages ends up being a pain in the butt because you run out of certain types of counters like claims or whatever and end up, you know, having to make your own. Or in the case of money, make up rules to make it not as valuable to hoard money, which is what I did. But here, I'm using these multi-functional cubes that don't really mean anything. You know, some of them like the pieces that say water or something, they kind of make sense. But, you know, the rebellion cube is used for unrest, rebellion, and loan. You know, it's a lot of overload there. Control counters are used for a lot of things, and their positioning in the space is important, and it just it causes me issues. Now, even though this is General Lala and he's great, I think I need to take my province back, so I'm just going to gather my army. As a pass, because I did not do... Well, actually, I could, I believe, launch an endeavor. Let's look at rebellion and make sure. Entering the force conquers the area. In any case, it puts in an unrest. I may not want to launch an attack from an unrest area. Gaining this looks painful, and I'm low on money. But notably, I did not do an endeavor to do this. So that counts as a pass for success and failure. The general is return to the general supply all the influence you allocated. That was none. So I just draw the fate card. Bandits. Any province among your revealed cards? Nope. And so we do the mechanics, which are beginning to make sense to me. Now I have a road available to build. Well, where can I build a road? I can't build a road next to either of these two. Can't build a road here, but I could build one here or here. And it's kind of a one or the other, for whatever that means. And in order to make that decision, and this is something that's totally unlike Empires of the Middle Ages, I have to paw through my discard deck, which has gotten quite large, to see which provinces are still in here. The other option would be you can't paw through your discard deck. I don't believe the rules say that. And then I'd have to remember, which would not work well for the way I play the game. You know, if you're sitting there continuously playing through a deck or something, then yeah, you could remember. And I don't feel like that's a fair trade-off to say, well, how many times I walk away from the game determines, you know, how well I can play it at all. And I think our emperor died. Popularity check more than 12. Looks likely. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Okay. So now we go through the death of the emperor process again. And this is bad because I'm near the end of the deck. I've used up all my money. I have a loan already. Yes, I can take out more loans while my emperor's dying. Otherwise, I would go bankrupt and lose. But I have to follow this process, and this process has to be followed procedurally. You can't, which means it's harder to remember because you can't do things out of step very easily. So first I draw the top card. Okay, we got one who's a good diplomat, but kind of crappy at everything else. And not really crappy, but not great. Oh well. This guy looks a lot better with his building. But I got a lot of building done. Oh shit. I'm not sure I could build here. Hold on. This is where I wanted to do it because Sapta Sindhu is open. But Sapta Sindhu has 2 things in it already. Whereas these 2 do not. So I had to build the road here instead, you know. And if that's the case, I'll leave my emperor with his army in the capital because there's advantages to that I know. Okay. Add popularity counters and return them to supply. If popularity is positive, yeah, now I don't remember what it was. 4, 2, 3, I get 4 more of these. Well, there's the 2 I had to add to the game because they didn't come in the counter mix. Or else I ate them, but I think they just didn't come. There were definite issues with this. Draw 2 random popularity markers for the new emperor. Flip face up any remaining ministerial deck. Okay, no, I only have to pay once. Because it's if you run out of deck just before your Emperor dies, that's a problem. And stack these cards under the ministerial discard pile. Oops. Did that the wrong way. I just added this. I think this guy goes on top. I'm not sure. If he doesn't, you lose whatever cards you had available at that point. The way the rules are written, it looks like they just stay out there and get folded back in after the Emperor dies. I don't think that's a good solution, so I'm kind of cheating to change that. Okay. Compare for each stature, so I'll be losing 3 generals, you know. Ouch. It's from the top, so I lose some pretty decent generals, especially my General Lala. At least I get to stack them in whatever order I like, which will be... Doesn't look like I'm going to be attacking planes in the near future, so, you know, I make my choice based on what's left. There are planes, but... And I'll keep doing that for the rest of them. This is not going to be good, though, for what I end up being. And we end up another day older and deeper in debt. Another loan. We got $1 left, and I don't feel too good about where we are. You know, but honestly, Empires of the Middle Ages is not an easy game. You're constantly struggling with your economic situation. So in some sense, I kind of appreciate that. The problem is this feels so different. You know, I can't focus on the economy in quite the same way. Yes, I can keep drawing more cards until I get something that helps, but I have to spend money no matter what to do anything. Economics, building, whatever. I'm not getting those free passes. Some of which made Empires of the Middle Ages a little easier. The fact that I'm denied the ability to raid in the forest areas, and now I've expanded into everything else and don't really have anything I'm allowed to raid. This is piss poor already. Gives me another problem that I don't like. So I don't know, you know, it's in terms of sort of the pleasure of the gameplay when you're stymied too much. But I don't remember. So here's the thing. Empires of the Middle Ages had one solitaire scenario, right? And you're a god in it. You're Charlemagne. But you're not Charlemagne the god. But no, but you are seriously you have an impressive ruler for most of that scenario, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. And then the other scenarios are all multiplayer, and there's less association with, am I doing this? And also the system is so simple that you don't feel all that associated. Even in the solo game, you're just doing things. Here, the system's much more complex. You're manipulating all sorts of stuff, and it feels like you're going through a lot more activity to get not great results, you know, in terms of the expansion, etc. I don't know how big a deal that is. I feel like it's a little bit more frustrating to be in this position where I'm like, well, I'm broke, I owe tons of money, and my next action, I may want to take out a loan before I do it so I can throw more cash in. I probably have to take out a loan just in order to do it. And it just feels like I'm on this downward spiral. Now, that same downward spiral in Empires of the Middle Ages, when you're looking at kingdoms that are, you know, failing to do their ruling operations or endeavors and are just like, you know, unable to do anything, rebellions are showing up on them and everything. Well, that's an opportunity for the other players to mess with, as opposed to just this fucking sucks, you know. Honestly, in Empires of the Middle Ages, it's often the case that you just want to pass, right? Because you're hoping your emperor will die. and you'll be able to use your cards for free to improve your empire so that it's operable again. In here, there's no such option. No matter what you do, you're going to have to take out a loan and do things, and you can leave your emperor out of the endeavor, which means if you have a good advisor, you can pretty much get stuff done with other leaders. It's just a different nature. I don't, I don't know how to comment on the realism of either. Both seem too abstracted to really give that kind of feel, and I don't know, enough about the birth of the Kushan Empire to be able to speak to it much. I do feel like Empires of the Middle Ages, puts you in a position that feels there's a certain verity, a truth to the experiences, even though it's totally random. Here, by having named emperors, by having things, I feel like, well, I should be able to align it better, except that I don't know this history at all. All right, taking a break. My draw at the end of the turn, got an artist. I don't think I want an artist. Again, the deck's pretty full. This guy's not terribly good at it. So, an owned province or client kingdom. I don't have one of them. That's not good. Yeah, we'll just keep drawing. I'm low on money and I want to get stuff. Sogdia. Sogdia is going to bring me a couple bucks. That's great. I'll keep drawing. A fort builder. Shit. I don't want that. Oh, hell. How much is a fort going to cost me? Fort costs 3. Alright, one more draw. And an economy guy. Okay, so the deal here is, if I succeed with this, I get to keep my influence to his left. So that's fine. The problem, of course, would be, if I got this and went back here, I'd lose an influence. But I got plenty. I haven't been using it up. So I think I'm okay. I've just passed on certain opportunities, run through the deck. Now, that's not great, because running through the deck means I have to, pay my army, pay my interest and everything. On the other hand, my economy's not great, so I really need to get that up to speed. This Sogdia has heavy cav. I haven't been getting any of that, just because of the nature of the board, I guess. I'm just looking to see. There doesn't seem to be, and there's not going to be in the forest, obviously. I think that's like the only place I can create it, and there's a lot of it. A lot of it in the central section, which, I mean, not as much as some of the things, but given how little of it you can create, it seems kind of odd how many counters there are of it, but whatever. And that's got a 1. Again, I don't know what that 1 means. But if I look here, it's there too. So it differentiates from a plus, but in some places they don't have the 1, right? Well, maybe I'm seeing it everywhere. Interesting. Huh. I swear I wasn't. Oh, what the hell. Okay, whatever. Alright. Well, memory is dead. Success. The level 2 agent being exposed. I want that in my deck. I'll be getting at least one more deck because there's another Emperor in place. And fate card. Emperor died in battle. Nope. Awesome. So that sweeps these. And we get to draw a new card. Wall. I'm out of money. Walls only affect raids, although I thought they affected something else. Well, they affect raids in a positive way, actually, which is weird. I'll keep drawing. I don't want to do that. An artist. Alright, a level 2 artist. I'm not hurting it. I have no money. That's the problem. You know, do I want to... This is tough. Like, I need to pay these loans off. If I look at the victory points, and by the way, a lot of what you hear is me comparing it to empires in the Middle Ages. I feel like that's a mistake. Like, I feel like I need to think about this as its own game, even though what excited me about it was the empires of the Middle Ages side. So what do we get here? Monuments and temples. We get a result for every 2 monuments and temples. Provinces, economic value, which means if I don't get the economy improved, they're not worth anything. That's kind of like an empire. Yeah, let's do it again. That's kind of like an empire's Middle Ages. Did I say empires and arms? I'm always brain farting like that. That's kind of like empires of the Middle Ages, except in that game, claims make it so that owning property is worth more. Arts and science, you get a result for every 2 cards that contain a level indicator and score the glory. Oh God. So, yeah, you're going to get some points off of them, I guess. These awards don't come to me. 1/6 the popularity of the last emperor. And then each loan is worth 5, which I guess I can live with. I don't know. It's just I don't want to run through the deck. That doesn't help me either necessarily. But if I'm spending on every minister that comes up, and I've got a fair amount of ministers in there, and that's actually one of the things why bloating your deck with ministers, sure, it may seem like a bad idea in terms of like, yeah, if you want to do every one, you've got too much in there. But now I have more options because I've added more throughout the play. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's keep drawing. For an area that is neither owned nor a client kingdom. All right, well, I think we've got to do this. Even though this isn't going to add shit to me because it's got no economic value. So what am I doing? Well, I don't know. It's not a great result because it's really likely to fail. And you need to get to a 9. You need to get to a 9 to succeed at it. And you're just adding in. It's likely to fail in empires of the Middle Ages as well, but the consequences of failure are nil there. You spend $1, you do a diplomacy. It's not an expensive endeavor. You might throw cash in to improve your chances, and that's where it ends up spending. You might get 1 if you have forces near it, but I can't move military forces except as part of a military endeavor. You add 1 if it's in your client kingdom. Well, it's not. You should, no. So basically, I have the level of my emissary, level 2, plus 1 is 3. I drew a 5. That gets me to 8. I got no opportunities to improve my chances. It's a low payoff endeavor. So now I lose a popularity, which I don't really care about. But I've got the damn rebellion check. That's what hurts. And it feels like too big a penalty in the case of diplomacy. So subtract the economic level. Well, now I'm up to 4, so my number is 6. Now, for some reason, forts will increase that number, which seems opposite to me. And I suspect that I suspect there's an issue with the rebellion checks. And I think in the case of diplomacy, I mean, look at the others. If you fail at a military endeavor or an economic endeavor, those strike me as things that have real consequences, very likely on the population. If you fail on a building endeavor, well, it's hard to fail on those, but yeah, again. similar to the diplomatic. Yes, I can see the populace being unhappy about it, but the diplomatic is so likely to fail is the problem. And it feels to me like the failure, the no effect failure is, maybe there should be 3 results. A no effect that does not cause a rebellion check, and a failure effect that may actually take away, like I would lose this chit or something, this cube. I don't know. But except in the case of a diplomatic disaster, I don't think the populace is likely to, be really unhappy about it. Anyway, we check, we get a big high number, so we're safe this time. But, it's dodging a bullet each time. And I lose my emissary. Not to mention my influence, because I did a failure. I don't mind losing those. That seems right, Whoops. I draw my fate card. It's possible that some of the fate cards affect your ministers. If popularity check is less than 5, the emperor dies. Sounds like we're in trouble. Popularity check is 2, the emperor died. Okay. Well, that was a fast one, and that is putting the end of the game in sight. Lost my couple of my new fancy agent. Not much else happened. I gained a lot of generals, not the one I wanted, that I stacked on top of the deck. And now I gotta pay for my army. Shit. I swapped emperors out without making it through much of my deck, which means I didn't get much money. Another cube in debt, pretty much otherwise at even there. And now, as I said, I reshuffled the whole deck, including the cards for the turn, so I'll draw new cards. And I get a lousy diplomat, who I don't think I want. My feeling is I got plenty to do up here, getting my economy in shape, etc. Adding a province doesn't give me victory points in and of itself. And adding a client state gives me even less not victory points. Well, it gives me less if I do if somehow the economy goes up in that area. So we will keep drawing, and we get General Lala. Yeah, this sucks because I have a good military leader. I can't raid to get money, and there's really not much I want to do. And the thing is, I don't want to just like reposition my army or something, which I can do, but that triggers a fate card as a pass anyway. And I think I keep drawing and I say, my good military leader, this isn't the time for him. I need to get my economy straight. Okay, what about a market? A market sounds like a good thing. Sounds like a very good thing. Put it as getting painfully complex, however, and I don't know how much sense this makes, right? Take a look at Rome. Before Rome improved the rest of their empire, they improved the shit out of the area around Italy, right? And other key locations. They didn't make sure that, there were roads in Britain before Italy was built up as much as it could be, basically. And likewise, the Near East, they built that up heavily without worrying about building up, say, the interior of Hispania or of Gaul. Yes, if the locations are big enough, you could make an argument. But anyway, here's the build choices. Where I'd like to put it is one of these couple of places, because they're kind of protected and out of the way. The problem, of course, is if I put it here, well, that prevents me from building either, a canal in either one of those spaces. I can only build one in one, so it's not that big a thing. Here, well, I can't build a canal here, so I guess I'm safe in doing that one. So I guess we'll go for that. And I made the choice not to add this level 3 general into the deck yet, I got a lot of deck to go through before I want to, supposedly, but the popularity check is less than 5, the Emperor dies. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm lucky. But when their popularity check happens... Oh, I keep forgetting this, don't I? Again, it feels like... I mean, there's tons of information here. But it feels like there needs to be more that's easily available. Empires of the Middle Ages, again, most of your functionality is like on something about this size. Like, there's a little chart about that size that tells you what you need to do. Well, it's blown up to a full page as well, but it doesn't need to be. In terms of the density, it's about this density of information, right? The hard part is remembering that, you know, a popularity check and then having to find it in the rules, because it's actually beyond the play notes and everything, in sort of an area that should be easily accessible, but it isn't to me mentally. When this occurs, reveal, add up, flip the positive back, and return a random 1 to your supply. I'm not sure I've been doing that as often as I should. But that gets rid of these. And, I mean, with only 3 counters out there, there was a fair chance that I die right away, right? Less than 5 is low, but... I get a builder. You know, almost out of money. But I want to improve... I want to improve my economy, and yes, I know I'm playing a card-by-card piece. It's hard when you're facing these kind of Euro-ish type designs, and I consider this to be one. To not capture every little mechanical aspect, because in a way, all that mechanical stuff is what the game is. Now, there's a story here, and it's a similar story to the one that Empires of the Middle Ages provides. But all the stuff that causes that story to move forward, all this card manipulation and everything, that's where you're spending your focus of the game. And it feels like that obscures the story for me. You could say the same thing if you had like a detailed operational combat game, you know, that was the whole of World War II. When you see me play those, I'm not just reporting generally on, well, it looks like the Barbarossa went pretty well and they took everything, you know, that they were supposed to and made it pretty close to Moscow. You're seeing me look at the individual little operations that are going on, etc., as opposed to, you know, in some other games where that broader scope story tells more. Here, there's not really a story behind what I'm doing with this card manipulation. It's like playing a Euro. I'm stacking the deck, you know. What does that mean? Anyway, success in this case was a harbor in Sind. And more loan. And we draw a famine if you have an area. Nope. Goes away, not interested. Draw. An artist, you know. I think I want to because they're worth victory points. And at least don't have a penalty on it here. The issue is the density of this little play rate. I guess if I held it up and thought about things, you know, it would be more helpful. But the way I play, where I don't have, you know, an extra hand free, whatever, flipping through the rules to find out, hey, what's up here? So I'll be breaking even, looking for a 6. I think I'll go for a level 2, not a level 3. And since I've started chattering, I guess we'll just do this. Now, if I'm right, I can pay more to have this work. Ew! I can't take out a loan, though. Okay, so I was at 0.3. That's going to cost me $3 to avoid a failure. Arts doesn't cause a rebellion check. It does cause a popularity loss. But I don't want to spend $3 on this. I'm in enough trouble. So I will just lose that artist. Which is not a good thing. I'm passing time. And I did spend money, you know. Do I want to double the money? I don't know. More than double. I'd have to spend $3 extra. I spent $2 on the thing. I haven't drawn a fate card, and that's the problem. Fire at the capital. Unless you have at least 5 forces at the capital, I do. Awesome. I flip this, and I get a good governor. All right, it's time to take a little rest. A big economic success over in Sind with this good governor. Only spending the minimum $2 on it, but you know, again, I'm only going to get $2 back, but that's 2 victory points too. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm struggling. I'm towards the end of the deck. I drew my fate card, no deal, and a wall. I don't think a wall is going to give me anything I really want. It gives me a bonus on making raids, so I'll keep drawing. And I get an economy guy, which I guess I'll just keep doing. The thing is, you know, there's not much gain for it at this point with my Emperor this far back. But I need money, and that's, you know, at least I break even if I do these right. But doing them right's a tough thing. Like here, I spend $1, maybe I can get $1 back. Here, though, if I roll this, it's $1 for $1. So that's not too bad, but I don't have the chance of moving forward 2 spaces. I don't know. Went with a big draw, and I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I've drawn 4 officers. I'm getting a military. I don't have much expansion I can do. It's just throwing money away at this point. I didn't want the artist. The emissary, well, I don't get the bonus off him. I could, you know, lose a card here, which is one cool thing. But I'm also going to lose a bunch of influence that is hard to reobtain. I got a bunch of leaders that I didn't really want in my deck all at once. Rating's not possible. Conquest, it just doesn't look like it's viable. Let's draw a 5th one. Let's see. Hey, I guess we'll go for that. Choice of any number I would have liked. I only had $3 left, so I'm going with a $2 one because it's more likely to generate real victory points. And that got me to a 4, but this is a big deal because I got an extra $1. Oh, shit. Nope. All right, well, we had a failure. And we're going to lose a good artist and all that influence and some popularity, which is no big deal. At least we don't get a rebellion check because we did arts. These barbarians had no revealed cards. I got a builder who builds monuments. Well, monuments are worth some victory points. I don't remember how much. It's like, I don't remember if it's rounded up or down or what. And gotta look that up to understand. Victory conditions. Nope, that doesn't tell me how I get victory points. Well, it tells me somewhere. I don't remember where. Strangely not in the victory points. Over here, monuments and temples. A result for every 2 monuments or temples. If it's an odd number, draw. Well, wait. If there's an odd number of them, get a half value thing. Monument only costs 1 to build. So I'm going to go with this because there's a fair chance that I'll just end soon. But the problem is, $1 gets me a shot. Now, he's a 2-pointer. I don't want my dude with him. And now I also have to do the calculation, hey, where do I want to put this? But a 2-pointer will mean, or a one buck 2-pointer will mean I need a 4 or better if I don't take out a loan. I kind of want to just take out a loan because the chance of failure is so crappy, but I'm not going to do that because that costs me 2 more bucks. And might be 5 victory points. So I'm just going to spend the 1. I guess I'll try to build it up here. I think this is a monument. It's not clear. No, this is, wait. Shit. This is a harbor. I built a harbor here, not an aqueduct. Thought it would be blue, I think. What am I looking for? Monument. Monument looks like it's a darker gray, which I don't have in my counter mix that I see. Interesting. So again, it's not trivial to assess what's what here, but well, yeah, it can't be the Milky White because that's my nation. You can't screw with that. That would cause issues. Yeah, I don't see a dark gray square. I don't know what to do for this. It's worth glory points, but I don't know what to use. I guess I'll use one of these. Doesn't seem to come with all the pieces needed. Maybe it's a silver. Maybe it's a silver to use. What are silver used for otherwise? Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. Because silver doesn't serve any other purpose that I can think of. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this looks more like a translucent gray piece. And where the hell can I build it? I mean, I can build it all kinds of places, but I don't know. So this has 2 in it already. This has 1, this has 1. This has 2, this has 1. Let's build in an Araco so that looks like I won't likely lose it. And I succeed easily. Monies. This is kind of dangerous, but I got the tax collector, that's great. I got the subterfuge, which no matter what I do with it, I gotta spend popularity for it. But seizing money sounds like maybe my best choice because modifying my deck at this point in the game, I'm on my last emperor. Chances are he is going to die. You know? But I make that a lot more likely if I throw 3 popularity in the cup. You want to keep your popularity around 3 to 5 or so chits. You know, I mean, 5 chits could get you above 12 very easily. 3 chits could get you below the 5 or whatever. So it's always dangerous. Less so if you've been peeking at the chits accidentally because you can't tell which side they are. But yeah, I think I'm going to fire that off to grab money because I could definitely use it. A goodly amount of money, both from the taxation and from the subterfuge. And when can I pay back loans? Oh. I don't know when I'm allowed to. And this is the kind of thing that I don't mind that I have to look up, but it would be cool if it was in the glossary. I'm pretty sure it's not. But I've been proven wrong with things before. Nope. So there we go. It's in other rules. At any time other than when your emperor has just died. Yeah. So I'm going to spend 12 to buy back 5 victory points. That seems like a deal. It's hard to tell, though, right? I only got $6 in my hand. How often am I going to get something else good? I don't know. Bandits. Any provinces has no army, reduced its economic level by 1. Oh, by the way, I had to move my emperor out because he doesn't like subterfuge, so he went over to inspect his monument. So yeah, I have an army there. There's a reason to spread your army out to prevent things like that, but there's reasons not to. Mainly that it's a pain in the butt to reassemble it. So that's that. This is this. I feel like diplomats are just a waste. What's it going to cost me? $3. I'm good at diplomacy. I wish I had my army there. Diplomacy's the shitty thing that's hard to do. But we'll go ahead and do it. Lucky, and we got a success out of it. Very little money. Now we have a client kingdom that's worth nothing to us particularly, but you know. Again, I don't know. I hate burning through these, and that's the main reason. We draw fate, barbarians, no revealed cards. Discard, draw. We'll keep drawing. We got nothing we want to do militarily. We could actually raid through here, I think. The problem is I don't think we can move Cav into the client state, into the forest. That's what I seem to recall. We could go across, and I don't think that's possible. We can go across a forest transition to go into a province, I think. This is what I remember it being, but like, why would there be a forest transition without one of the two provinces having a forest? And we're looking. We don't know where to find it. I find this rule book very difficult to cope with. I did from the moment I started reading it. I don't know why. It doesn't have case numbers, which, you know, is always a problem. And it's a bunch of just stuff. Okay. You cannot move horse units into forest areas, even for raids, so I couldn't raid into here from that forest. You are, I believe, allowed to use horse units to raid. They're the only thing that raids. Across a forest connection. I seem to remember something like that. Move at least one horse unit to the target area. I remember somewhere where it said something like that. But anyway, I can't raid because there's forests, you know, because I can't move my horse unit here to raid into here, as far as I can tell. Now, maybe I'm misreading this. Maybe you can move horse units into forest areas to raid into other areas that you move the horse unit into. I don't know. It's not clear enough to me. But anyway, military is useless, is what I've decided. All right. Crap. I don't have 3 popularity. I've been playing it. I can't throw those in the way I could with dispatching a leader from the deck. I'm going to just keep drawing. I don't like this. Oh, joy. I wonder if I can add yet another one and have 3 military leaders, because each of these can add another. Sounds like it. Well, we'll just keep drawing. We get a province. That means we're at risk from the fate deck, but Aracosa is going to give us some money. And we get another agent. And I think I'm going to raid... I don't know. I think I'm going to use my agent or pass. Passing probably kills all my influence, though, so I don't want to do that. So I'll probably use my agent to ditch a card, losing a popularity for that. But first, the taxes. Better than accidentally looking at the chit cup. I find out the chit cup's empty. I gotta repopulate it. But that's fine. It's just, when it happens... Here we're at one of them odd ones. Is the notional area off the map in existence for this epidemic I just drew? And I think it is. I don't remember what I said previously. I think I looked at this and maybe went the other way. It borders an area you do not own. Determine one of these randomly, reduce its economic value by 2 levels. So that's a victory point I lose, but that's okay. I collected my tax for it at least. Ooh, I forgot to grab my, let's grab an elephant there. It's not really a decision that's hard to make. Unless I can get calf. Calf may be better. Elephants are better than calf. All right, and what did we do? We got rid of a diplomat that I really don't need. He's kind of crappy. We drop these. We have no popularity whatsoever. That doesn't kill me immediately. And I get an economist. Yay. Just hung out for, a couple hours with someone. It was fine and everything, but again, it exhausted me. I went to bed afterwards. Now I'm awake. But yeah, I mean, I had like a beer, and I was just so exhausted. And napped for an hour, maybe more. I don't know. Anyway, did economics here. I actually spent an extra $1 to move from 4 to 7. I went up from 2 to 4, 4 to 7. This is a valuable place that for some fucking reason is not even in my deck. Damn it. When did I take it? Ah, shit. I took it militarily prior to the last Emperor, so I'm going to shuffle that into my deck because I looked through my deck and made my decision based on the fact that was happening. Anyway, that generated me a popularity, but I got an Emperor dies of natural causes, make a popularity check, and lose that popularity immediately afterwards. I also threw an agent into my deck, just in case I survived that long. I had to throw Malwa into my deck too. I found that here. I should look through all of these, see how many. That may be why I'm broke. I don't know these places. Andhra, that's close by. Kalinga, not yet. Magadha, that's the plains there. Oh, no wonder Fergana never came out. Interesting. And that's way up there. Yeah, no wonder I'm broke. Obviously, if you fail to apply the mechanisms of the game, it's not going to work well, but I can't think of anything quite like this in most games where you're like screwed in the same way just for not putting a particular, card in. But again, I mean, I blame myself. I've known how to do this. Shit, man. I'm still doing okay, I think. So let's see, because we might start generating more money. Okay. Instead of subterfuge, activate a discarded minister. I may want to do that, but I like the subterfuge. The problem is, I got none of these popularities, so I probably want to fire a minister off. I used the subterfuge to pull a builder and built myself a market over here. And then Sogdia, the one card that I had out, and you can see I have a fair amount of money right now, but I don't want to pay back a loan because I just have to take another one. If you have at least one area among your cards, determine one randomly, reduce its economic value, a number of levels equal to a result divided by 4. Well, Sogdia has a level of 0, so this means nothing, but I think I have to draw just to clear a counter there. And we got a success. Do I want to... Yeah, I want to throw another agent in. I like agents. And we draw another agent. This is problematic, because all I can do is trim my deck with that. I don't think I terribly want to do that right now. So I guess we'll spend on arts. I mean, this is the time of the game to do so. And if I look here, arts allows me to throw additional money, and it's fairly likely to succeed. New draw gets me additional money and another economy chit. I want to keep this guy alive as long as possible to improve my empire, because these emperors, in general, in this one, are pretty decent. Your chances of success in this game are not bad. The money is just the problem. Money is an issue. But compare this to like empires of the Middle Ages, and you're a lot more capable of doing your shit in this. The one exception seems to be that diplomacy. And actually, I don't know if I client stated him. I kind of think maybe I didn't, but I'm thinking. So I assumed I did, and the counter fell. I'm not going to hunt it down and undo it. I'm just going to say, yeah, it succeeded. I know I tried several times, but I think I failed each of them. So it may have actually been the right board state with this laying over here. But on the other hand, I bumped the table often, and I may have knocked it over. So we'll cheat in our favor. After yet another successful economy action on Sapta Sindhu, getting its value up a point. We got a comet. This is a complicated card. Just making sure there's nothing I want to add to my deck. Each player, just after resolving their next fate card, one by one reveals their top 3 deck cards and either discards or puts it in hand. But if the hand reaches 5 cards, they stop drawing. Now, remember, after you take your turn, if there were multiple players, you draw cards until you get a minister. So every player has a hand in play. Discarding just means you get to throw it into the discard pile. It doesn't allow you to hide the minister, which might be a really powerful ability. But so that's my card. I don't know if I want to use that. But I don't activate the comet yet. I have to wait till I get my next fate card, which seems kind of annoying. It should be this player now and each other player when they do their fate, but whatever. Well, I think I want to do this. Crop, which, because I exposed no provinces, does nothing. Then I resolve the comet. So 1, definitely want to play that. 2, definitely want to play that. 3, this is gone. I actually should have. Okay, so this is my initial draw. Now I expose 3, but I stop once I reach 5 with my hand. So 1, definitely want to play that. 2, definitely want to play that. And we're done. That's as far as we get. I've run out of fate cards, so I reshuffle the deck, and I start my next turn. I've got this stupid general that I don't think I really want to use, and I can pass, but I get a lot of tax collection. Big hand of provinces gave me the kind of money worthy of an empire. 16 bucks. Sweet. I actually think I'm going to use the general. The reason why is I have not showcased the attack on a fort yet. I'll build up my extra recruits, and I got a lot of them coming. Mel was not going to recruit, and then I'll gather my forces and I'll launch an attack on a fort, because I want to see how that works. That's the one thing in the game, other than maybe a philosopher generating a science card. I don't even know what those do. I know I've tried one, but I'm pretty sure I have no philosophers in my deck right now, and I don't know what their victory point value is, you know. Again, because, you know, most of Empires of the Middle Ages is a pretty simple victory point setup, right? It's provinces are worth 3 points. plus their economic value, plus 3 more points if you have a claim. That is pretty much your your victory point value in Empires of the Middle Ages. This, because of all these buildings and everything, which to me just confused the situation. They make it more difficult to understand what's going on. And I have my gripes about the roads and canals and whatnot. But start feeling more like a point salad-y type of Euro game. That much of the mechanism feels like it belongs. It is a modernization. Let's bring Empires of the Middle Ages into the Euro era. Okay, let me try to find this. Where do I get it? Science and ideas. No, the player who has the most. Okay, so science cards. So every 2 cards gives you a glory points. Scores that each. Okay, you draw a result for each pair, and then you get a half result if you don't have a full pair, and then you subtract 1 for level 1 cards, add 1 for level 3 cards, and add 3 for level 4 cards, which I haven't seen yet. So, level 1 cards are worth a little bit less, but you want to get your level 1 cards out there. There's no real reason, to not generate your level 1 cards. So generating some sciences might be valuable. Maybe I want to grab a philosopher. But I do want to fight this battle. And let me get my recruits and do that. I'm a little stunned because I woke up. I actually have trouble getting to Kashagar. This is why I have elephants here in Gedrosia. Now, if I recall correctly, you can only attack a fort with stuff that's directly next to it. And I don't get pikes or swords in this game, so I'm pretty much stuck with spear as the only thing that's going to be able to directly attack the fort. Okay. Maybe if I had a siege tower, I could put something in it. Oh, archers are the other option, because archers can be put down here. Special when there's a fort. Now, with movement from Gedrosia, where I could have built an archer, it would be 1, 2, 3 moves, which would normally be fine, except I'm traveling over mountains. And the wording for the mountains is you can move each up to 3 areas, but at most 2 if any of the connections are mountains. However, if a road connects the 2 areas, the mountains do not have effect. Well, a road connects these 2 areas, but I think it has to connect all 3 of these, and there's no way that can happen, right? Because I couldn't have a road here and a road here, or a road here and a road here. So this is just too far. I guess there are circumstances where, let's see if I was here. Well, no. There are conceivably circumstances where you're only traveling over 1 mountain, or the 2 mountains are not next to each other, where you could actually have roads over them. That leads me to wonder why I have this road, and whether it was allowed to be built there. But I think it is. I don't know. I know there might be limitations on some things. For example, the harbor. Man, it says it gives a bonus for sea province, and now I'm wondering maybe I couldn't have built a road except in the mountains, and I don't know what that means. That wouldn't make a lot of sense for Rome. I feel like the Roman roads are a big deal, but they kind of had to connect their roads. They didn't just leave them as little pieces here and there. Where are you? You're a piece of a pipe or something. Okay. So the first thing I do is I move my units. Now I may not move them all into play. 1, 2, I can do that. So I bring these guys down to join my army. I will be bringing my general with me, but I may not bring my whole army because I have to pay for my whole army. And do I want all these troops with me? I don't know. I may not bring my whole army, because if I can't attack the fort with like elephants and cav and whatnot, I shouldn't be paying to bring them in. So I got to look at the rules about the military, but I have this suspicion that there's going to be forces outside the fort and forces inside, because hey, there's swords here. Oh, swords, spears, and archers. I bet you they can all fit in the fort. I just skimmed these rules. The defender is allowed to set all their forces up in the fort. Only units adjacent to the fort can attack it, and symmetrically, the fort can only attack spaces that are adjacent to it. So for the attacker, it's only going to be spear units that are going to be able to fight the fort. I did build additional spear units, spear units and the archers that can fight the fort. Archers and artillery can attack any kind of unit. Slow units can only attack other slow units, which means if there are any cav or anything in the fort, I had better kill them with my archers. Just saying, because they're somehow safer in the fort. I can't storm them. I don't understand that. When units are defending in a fort, they can strike with multiple units so long as they strike the same target. It takes 2 units coming out of the fort to get a hit on one unit. And attacking units are going to take 3 units to get a hit on the fort. This is not a big deal. It's just we're going to be trading 1 unit at a time from the fort. But here's the thing. Sorties. On a turn, the defender can choose to sortie by moving a unit from the fort to the space corresponding with its name and making a strike. Once the defender has a unit outside the fort, each turn they can either return a force to the fort or move another in. I do not see any rules about the defender, about the automated defender, dealing with that aspect of the fort. Where it talks about setup, if the defender, when the area contains a fort before combat, the defender can put any of their forces in the fort space. A defending non-player places all their eligibles in the fort space when they have one. If the defender does this, the attacker can move any artillery or archers to the archer's artillery space. Great. Nowhere in the conduct attacks does it say anything, but maybe the order of attacks takes into consideration the possibility of sorties. I don't know if that means I want to bring my army, like, of mobile units with me. Like, if that is the case, and that kind of what I think it's meant to be, I'm scared not to bring at least some of my mobiles. So what are we facing here? Well, we're facing possibly a lot of swords, which are probably just going to stay in the fort, but they might come popping out. I don't know. Looks unlikely. Looks unlikely. Okay, so I'm probably going to be facing a lot of swords there. I've got a couple of spearmen, which might pop out to beat up on cav. And I've got some archers who might pop out, because they're fast units, to beat up on archers and whatnot. And I don't know what this means. Bow horse will not be able to attack. So I think I'm going to leave my bow horse, and I got a lot of them, behind. I might end up throwing one in or something just for money. And I may shift some of these around to cover other areas. So I'm going to leave my bow horse behind. Elephants. What do I have here again? Yeah. Spear and archer. Elephants are able to hit archers. All right, I'll bring my elephants, but maybe not all of them. Definitely bring my archers. Light horse, I don't see a reason to bring them. Heavy cav, I'll bring them. Cav, I'll bring them, just in case I coax something out. All right, so I think this is what I'm going to bring. I'm going to count my forces, and then I may reposition some units. I'm facing a shitload of swordsmen. I drew a 10 on that, and 3 archers and 2 spearmen. They're all going to be there. There's going to be 1 card for the defender, and I'm going to get 2 because I have a level 1 general plus an improved military from my emperor. And the defender got a card that's useless with a fort. It specifies it can't be used with a fort. I've got this blow the horn, steel elephants to your side. The rest are struck. Well, the rest, I wonder if that includes your own. That doesn't help me no matter how you interpret it because he has no elephants, but I got perhaps the best of the cards. I can use the siege tower space to attack. First playable in the 3rd round. Well, I don't know what that means. So we're going to have to look that up. But I also should reread those fort rules yet again, because again, they're a completely different way that the battle is handled, basically. And no, they're not that little rule, they're this. You can only use siege tower and archer artillery spaces when defenders are in the fort space, and they can only strike tower. Wow, well, that doesn't help. Alright, I'm hoping siege towers is explained somewhere in here, but I don't recall seeing it. Maybe it's in the cards. I don't, somewhere in the back of the book somewhere. So here it is. If the attacker plays the build towers card, they can place slow units in the siege tower space. I thought I remembered something. Now, what does that mean? Well, the place where these are covered is harder to strike. When units are defending in a fort, it's permitted to strike with multiple units. Fighting from a fort or tower requires 2 units to strike 1 unit. Attacking units in a fort from anywhere else requires 3 units. So by being in the tower, I don't need all my spear, I don't need 3 spearmen to get 1 hit, but it doesn't seem like too big a deal, to tell you the truth. I have tons of them, but we'll see what the attrition rate is like. I have initiative because my general and my emperor together, they're giving me a 2. I can get 3 units, and I guess I can choose to kill whatever I like. I can't kill the archers because they're fast units. Right? There was something about that. While archers and artillery can attack any kind of units, slow units can only attack other slow units. Well, archers and artillery are fast units, so yeah. And there might be horses and stuff in here from what I can tell. Okay, well, my archers are definitely going to set up there. Nothing else can set up in here. Only slow units can be in the siege tower. And I guess that means I can whack something. Now, do I want his archers to start coming out and shooting my units? I don't know the answer to that. But 3 of my spearmen get to hit one of his things. I'll hit one of his spearmen, I guess. I don't know. As my action. Now he gets to attack 2. Or he could come flying out. Well, he's at a range of 1. Oh, wait a minute. Nothing in there changed the speed of the units that attack. So only fast units can attack. So all I have is my 2 archers here. Those cannot hit. They can't be in the siege towers yet. I can't hit the fort because only my slow units can go. So I go to the defender. The defender can only fire with his fast units. He has a couple of archers, so he can hit whatever he likes. He could hit my archers, which have lots of units downstream from them. He could hit my spearmen, which have lots of units downstream from them. He could hit my elephants, which have no enemy units downstream from them. Wow, I think he comes out. I think, let's see, the fewest enemy counters in its immediate downstream. Because I'm only going to be able to get 1 hit, maximum. Well, I actually can't hit these. I'm too far away. My swordsman can't hit anything. Well, they could hit this. How many does this have immediately downstream from it? It has... Well, it would have one if I came out, and I think that would count. But I think that's actually my best attack. So he comes out and hits one of my cav. Why? I don't know. That's just what happens as far as I can tell. So now I go to the second round. Nope, I cannot do that. That's a swordsman. He's slow. Only my archers can attack. So they have to shoot something. They will be shooting the thing with the most downstream, and then 2 spaces downstream. This doesn't hit anything further downstream, I think. Although maybe this way. Right? Attack with the fewest enemy counters immediately downstream. Fewest enemy counters in spaces 2 downstream. And that's the same here. Attack a counter that's the only remaining. Attack a random counter. Okay. Well, a random counter. Does a random counter mean I attack a random type of counter or a random counter? Right? Because there are 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 spearmen and 2 archers. That's 12 counters that I select from. Or there's spearmen and archers. I would rather do the spearmen and archers, but I'm going to do the 12 because it says counter, not type of counter. Odd even. I'm sorry. Yeah. Plus 6, 10. That's going to be a spearman, I think. Because there were 12, 11, and 12 are over there. So that's his turn. Now on my turn, we come back here. I still can't attack him. He attacks, I guess, a random counter again. I've only got 11 now. He kills one of my archers, which sucks. I would really like to be able to use them. They're the only thing that can kill his archers. And he's going to shoot me all to shit, and then the battle's going to end. And this is going to suck. Unless I can figure something out. Oh well. Unless I can coax those archers out. Hold on, maybe they are coaxed out. Hold on, this is second round. He attacked these archers. Was that right? I don't believe it is, because it requires 2 of his units to attack this. So actually, he is going to attack with something else. Swordsman only gets 1 if it comes out. Oh, I thought this went both ways or something. But the archer comes out and kills 2 elephants. Okay. That puts it on the 3rd round. I have initiative. I still can't shoot anything in the fort, but I can kill his archer. And now it's his turn. And he can bring another archer out and kill 2 more of my elephants. And that's what he wants to do. And I have a break chance. God, forts are pain. I do not break. Okay. Now it goes to round 4. I play my siege tower because I have not lost any of my archers. And I move my archers into the siege tower, and now I can shoot 2. Did I fail something? Jesus, I don't know. Like, I'm wondering, why do I have archers here? Oh, because these are not my archers. These are his archers. Okay, that makes more sense. So yeah, I definitely moved my archers there. Now, do I want to shoot his stuff up? Yes, I want to kill this archer, not this one, even though this one's going to kill my heavy cav. Because that's going to be hard to kill, that particular archer. And now it's on his side, and he can either kill my heavy cav, which has nothing downstream from it, or one of these, which has a lot of downstream from it, Or I could come out with a spear and kill this, which has nothing downstream from it. And what was the answer? He wants to kill the heavy cav because there's only one of them. Okay, now it's my turn. We still have this nasty archer, but it's not a danger anymore. It can't hurt me. And I don't know if it can go back in the fort. Let's look at that sortie. Yeah, it can move back inside the fort. So I can either kill one of these units or wipe out his archers. I'm going to wipe out his archers because they're a pain in the butt. Now we go to round 5. No, right? I just killed his archers. Now we go to his round 4. He gets to kill one of mine. I think he's going to kill a random unit. No. He's going to send a spearman out and kill one of my cavalry. And that's a break chance, but it doesn't apply yet. And now I get to shoot. I don't fucking know. I could kill his spearman. You know what? I'm going to kill one of his swordsmen. So we both have breakpoints. Mine is the worst one, though, at 7. So we checkmate, and I've broken. And that did not go well for me. If I understand the way forts work correctly, I was right to fear them. They're nasty. Yeah, even with the siege tower, I was not in good shape. So I just broke, which means I lose equal to a result. And it doesn't really matter what he loses. So that's 1, 2, all my elephants, shit, all die. And I go flying back, and I'm in danger of losing my Emperor for the Fate card. But I did want to show and test out the fort. My natural reluctance said, don't do this. Well, it was right. Worse than that, I went into the desert where I had to pay more money than I actually paid. Instead of 1 per 5, it was 1 per 3, so I spent 4, I owe 3 more bucks. Again, I would not have done this if I was trying to win the game. But I wanted to show that thing off. Okay. Possible failure here in Bactria. Let me get these back. A couple of bow horsemen. They have no army. I have one spread out all over the place, but still. Okay, which means I lost a popularity. I take a rebellion check. Subtract economic level. Economic level is 4. That gets me down to 6. Add 1 for each fort. No. And now I draw a result. Not add 1. And I get a 9. So I am safe. And I do not suffer a rebellion. Yeah. Okay. And it doesn't turn it into unrest no matter what. So that was a pretty terrible action, which badly hurts my chances, but I think I did want to reveal that. The game could easily end right now, so I am going to spend all that fancy money to retire one of these 5 victory point loans. I don't have enough to retire a second one. My military leader goes away. He was a failure. And we draw a flood. Okay, 1 randomly is going to be hit by economic level divided by 4. Ferengia, which got hit so bad. No options to do anything cool in terms of adding any cards, and we draw a subterfuge, which I can activate a discarded minister. I probably will do that. Use that to build a monument up here. I'm pretty sure I can do that. can't move my armies around, whatnot. Draw my fate card. Emperor died in battle. Too bad this didn't come up last time. Okay. And then draw more cards. I will be doing my subterfuge to generate some money. It's the best chance of keeping my emperor alive. He's still got a lot of popularity. I am sending this one up because it's obvious this is going to keep going probably beyond this deck. And we got to see something that we haven't seen before, which was the fort attack. All right. Agent so late in the deck, it would almost seem like this is the time to definitely exchange a leader out. Not really in the mood for that. Want cash. I grab some. I could retire a loan, but that doesn't leave me a lot of money, and I'm near the end of the deck, so I'll hold on and pay another thing. Assassination check. Oh shit. If popularity is less than 5. Well, this was the wrong time to do that. It's game over, man. Okay. So we go. Jeez. Wish I hadn't started a new video just now. And it's just loading up. I could like slip this in. I might. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Your emperor has died. If this was not your emperor, do the rest. Well, let's slip down. What if it was? I don't know. If this was your last emperor, the game ends as soon as every player has enjoyed the same number of turns. Yeah. So each other player would get one more turn. And this is kind of an interesting thing. Because what it means is someone could run through all their emperors really, really quickly. Everybody's gotten the same amount of actions, no matter how long they played things out. So in the solo game, it makes sense to drag out for a while. Now, it always makes sense to drag out your good emperors. So it's not like that's going to change, but it is kind of an interesting thing. So I don't think I do any of this shit. I don't have to pay money or whatever. What I have to do is figure out the end of game, and we dig back into the book to find what happens. So we're gonna want a total number of glory, and we'll go look for that. But what we do is then we go back to the beginning of the rule book and find the goal of the game, which tells me what it is. Each province is worth its economic value. Okay. So I'm gonna need a piece of paper probably. Just a tally. I'm going to use a supermarket receipt. I use these for a lot of things, but you generally see me pull them out as my scrap paper for games. Usually I'm pulling, sheets of paper that I get in the mail that have blank on one side or another, and often have important and sensitive information on them that I probably shouldn't be exposing. And I try not to, but okay. So each province not in rebellion is worth its economic value. So we just run through 1, 5, 6, 7, 14. Okay. I could be using a calculator for this, which would be wise because my pen does not write. Shit. Other pens write on this paper. Let me get a different pen. Client is at 0 and probably illegal. It hasn't done me any good, so don't worry too much about it. Monuments and temple. I draw a result for every 2 monuments or temples. Well, temples are purple. I did not create any of those. I don't know why. Monuments, which are cheaper or better, they are the silver things. And I think I have 2 of them on the board. I'm going to take them off the board because much as I hate destroying the game state, I think it's necessary for me here. So now what do I get? I get a value. I get 10. Highly, highly random, the victory points that you get for this kind of stuff. And I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that feels weird to me, right? Arts and Science. I draw a result for every 2 Art and Science cards I have. 1, 2, 3 and a half. Okay. Now now what's also weird is this has to do with the replenishment rate. So if I got good shits during the game, what was it? 3.5 or 2.5? 1, 2, 3.5. Okay. 8, 10, 16, and I don't know which way it's rounded. Let's call it 19. Okay. But I have a possible penalty for this. -1, -2, -3, -2. So I lose 2 of that. So that brings me to 17. The thing being that level 2 ones are the average, the others just get you a plus or minus 1. And if there's level 4s, they give you a lot more. I get none of these awards. I get nothing for any of the rest of what I've built. That's just economic value, and honestly doesn't matter. I do lose my popularity divided by 6. That's 0. I do lose 5 for my loan. So we're looking at 30, 41, 36. I lose the game. Remember, I had to get 40 to win. I thought I was doing okay, but you can't really tell. Because, yeah. Okay. You know, I built up something that was getting to be a good engine. If I didn't die here, I might have had more time. But again, if this were a multiplayer game, not that I think there is one in existence yet, but if it were the multiplayer version of the game, I may not control when the game ends. You know, that's dependent on how hot somebody else is burning through their emperors. And so there's a lot of weird stuff in this that's like, yeah, as a Eurogamer, I can kind of understand it, but it's hard to accept, you know. Again, what you're doing is you're mutating time, and whenever you mutate time, I get weirded out, right? Like, you don't know how long the game is going to be, not because somebody's reached some victory condition that you can see occurring on the board, but rather because they've run through their emperors more quickly than you have. And that just, something about that tastes wrong to me. I'm going to look more on the wrap towards, hey, what could I have done? Well, first of all, I could have not attacked this. That would have been wise. I did want to show that off. Secondly, I could have focused more on those few things that are worth victory points, right? So, I mean, building up my economic situation, especially these buildings that I was putting into play that were not monuments or temples, as I got towards the bottom of my deck, that was probably a mistake. I probably could have pushed myself into that 41 to 80 era. But again, you know, I mean, my draws at the end, I mean, that just feels like such a random thing. And in the solo game, it may make sense that, you know, hey, I got good shit draws, the last pile from the deck or whatever, when I'm trying to squirrel away victory points, it kind of makes sense that I don't, that I'm relying on that same chit cup for how many victory points I'm getting, although it still feels highly variable and random. And I mean, you can make your argument for why that is. Well, we're talking about glory here, and, who knows, some of these things may have decayed and fallen apart and just not mean that much to the later ages, or whatever you want to say, because it's just, glory is something weird, right? Nobody remembers the Kushan Empire, in the West at least. I would guess, that in India there's more understanding of it. But, it's not like Rome, and it's not like the Han Dynasty. It's just kind of unknown, and maybe that's because they got bad chit draws. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like there's a certain focus towards winning the game that just doesn't really feel right to me. You're not trying to build up an empire in the same way. You're not trying to show that you've reached a certain level of anything. However, if you can't hold your empire together, especially through the plague situation, you are not going to do very well. So you do need to have a certain size empire. In terms of like buildings, well, there's only so many that are victory point buildings. So if you have a small empire, it would have to be pretty small. You wouldn't be able to get many victory point buildings. If you have a larger empire, you have more spaces that you can spread your buildings out to, but that may mean that you have to put buildings in kind of stupid places near the edges of your empire where they could be attacked or whatever. You've got China here. Conceptually, China could be causing problems in the India. You've got, Parthia over here and Rome not too far away. Again, conceptually, there could be serious problems coming from other players that you're not seeing in the solo play. So I don't know about that. I didn't really feel too comfortable with the deck manipulation in terms of like, am I doing, not just in terms of like, wow, that's great for the story or not. That's a different point. But more in terms of how comfortable am I with the choices that I was making in terms of optimizing my victory conditions. I had a number of people in there that I didn't want. And, again, this last agent, instead of generating money and throwing 3 popularity chits, which caused my assassination check to succeed, well, maybe I would have been better off, trimming the deck, which seemed like a good idea when I've only got a few cards left at the bottom of the deck. Now, those few cards left did not include another agent. So, and I did not feel comfortable with the money that I had. I mean, this is what I pulled in, I think, off of that raid, which was pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna hook this to the other one and send it up instead.